Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 188 of Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle. We're Tracey and Joe, although today you just have me, Tracey, but we're two sisters who are very, very passionate about asking questions and seeking further information around things that make us curious. Thrive is a podcast show that will help you lower your toxic load, guide you through various stages of life, and give you permission to ask questions and seek advice on topics that you may not yet understand. Today's episode is brought to you by our Additive-Free Lifestyle app that can be found on all major app stores. Download it today to create family-friendly meal plans, easy shopping lists, and have handy access to additive information. So today's episode is just with me. You've got Tracey here, and I'm going to talk you through how I am supporting an ankle injury that I suffered recently. So a few weeks ago, I was out walking my dog. I'd literally just left my house and I was maybe 20 meters from my front yard. And I don't know what happened, but I just twisted over on my ankle. It's still quite bruised now. This was around 3 weeks ago, and it's still a little swollen as well. So I did a really good job of it. I did all the regular things, rest, ice, compression, all the things that we know work really, really well in those first few days, and especially the first 24 to 48 hours. But the other things that I did that work well for me are I use a lot of essential oils, and this is not new to you guys. You know I love my oils, but I also wanted to start taking a lot more supplements to help support my body. So I'm going to take you through what they are. Now, all the show notes for this episode, so you do not need to go and get a pen and a piece of paper. The show notes are all over on our website at additiveFreeLifestyle.com/episode 188. So all of it will be written up over there. Okay, the oils that I used topically right onto the ankle area, or where the bruising was, or where the swelling was. In the first instance, the bruising didn't come out for a few days. But the oils I used were frankincense, wintergreen, lavender, marjoram. And had I had lemongrass, I would have added lemongrass in, but I had run out in my home. Lemongrass is one that you definitely want to be having in there. So I've now since ordered some, and it's back in stock in my house. The other oils that you could also use is copaiba or copaiba, depending on what country you live in. I have used that at nighttime, and I'm going to talk you through that. So I mixed frankincense, wintergreen, lavender, and marjoram into some coconut oil, and I applied that multiple times a day. Recipes, dilution rates are all over on our website at episode 188. Okay, I also made a roller because at nighttime, so what I did for the daytime, I just had it in an egg cup. I would dip my fingers in and apply that topically to the area. And I did that pretty much every time I came into the kitchen. So it was multiple times a day. As often as I could get those oils onto that area, I did. At night, I didn't want to be mucking around, waking up, half asleep, trying to reach over on my bedside table and spilling everything. So I made up a roller bottle. Now, one really good tip when you make roller bottles is to use your cap stickers, the lid stickers, and put them down the side of your bottles, because then you will remember what's in your bottles. Otherwise, you will totally forget. So that's my way of labeling my bottle. I added all of those oils except wintergreen. For me, wintergreen actually keeps me awake. So I stopped. I didn't put that into my roller because this was one I wanted to be able to use at nighttime. I actually added in some vetiver, and I definitely added in copaiba. Both of those completely are amazing for sleep. They completely knock me out. So I absolutely love using those oils at nighttime. And I definitely made sure I had plenty of lavender and plenty of frankincense in there. I mixed it all up into the roller bottle, and then that way at night, I could just reach over easily, funnel my way down my doona, find my ankle, roll it on, and kind of go back to sleep really quickly. The other really amazing thing with that blend that I have in the roller bottle, it's great on my bursitis. And if you're in perimenopause, you will know this, but your bones seem to ache. Like there are sometimes at night that my joints and bones tend to just ache. So I have got this roller there. It's actually one I had pre-done. So luckily I had that, even though for my ankle, because it was all pre-done. But I had been using this actual roller blend at nighttime prior to my ankle injury, and I just kept using it, and it was great to be able to roll over that spot as well. Now, a couple of other things that I also do, or definitely made sure I was on to doing, because sometimes I'm a bit slack. I started dry body brushing religiously. I have been dry body brushing now for around 12 months, very, very religiously, but there are days that I don't do it. So I definitely made sure I was doing that. The reason I wanted to be dry body brushing is to increase that blood flow. I wanted to make sure that my blood was flowing, especially in and around that area. So very, very gently, I would brush over that area, but the rest of my body, I would give a really good scrub, really good brush, and get that blood moving through my body. And also removing any toxins that were there through that bruise and through my body, because dry body brushing, I will do a whole episode on. It is fantastic, and it's a really great way to move your lymph fluid. So I definitely wanted to be doing that when there's a big bruise and swelling happening in my body. The other thing I did was I jumped into my sauna. Now, I'm lucky enough to have a sauna at home. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it. Ours is from Found Space. It is brilliant. Mention our names, you might get a discount. It's great. But I loved having that again to increase that blood flow. And I did notice that when I would hop out of the sauna, my ankle was kind of throbbing a little bit in a good way, not in a bad way. I know that it's not for everyone, but in a good way. I had a throbbing motion and I could feel it. So that to me, blood was moving through my body. And that's what we want also when we're recovering from an injury. Please seek advice on your own on this topic, but this is what I was doing. Okay. Supplements are, to me, a game changer, and I think something that is really, really needed. All the great athletes take multiple supplements. We know that, and that doesn't mean that we shouldn't at home either. So the ones that I love taking are Ice Blue polyphenols. Polyphenols in themselves are great. Just have a good search around. Type the word polyphenol into your search tool, and you will find all the benefits of having polyphenols in your supplement range. For me, they're used for muscle soreness and discomfort. So again, I've got bursitis on top of all of this, but that achy joints of perimenopause and all of those things. So polyphenols help to promote actually they do promote a lot of good things, but they help to ease off some muscle soreness and discomfort. So great for my sore ankle, but also they had this flow-on effect for bursitis and also that perimenopause. Turmeric is well known for inflammation. So I do love the doTERRA ones though, because they're a dual capsule. So they have two versions of turmeric, the essential oil and then the powder. It's a really great way of having kind of this multifunctional effect of the turmeric. So really, really great. So I was upping my ante on turmeric. And the other one is, it's called Terrazyme. Now it's a digestive enzyme that doTERRA have, but it's I don't know all the specifics. I don't have the bottle here in front of me, but it's a digestive enzyme that I know is really, really great for my digestive health. But also it has this added benefit of being able to help support a healthy metabolic function, and they help your body absorb nutrients better. So your micro and macronutrients, which is really, really vital to a healthy body, right? So if I can absorb my macro and micronutrients better, I can have a healthier metabolic system, my blood's flowing, I'm sauntering, I'm dry brushing, and I'm applying all my oils, my ankle is hopefully going to heal a lot faster than if I did nothing at all. And I just did my rest, ice, and compression, which are all great. I'm not dishing on the rest, ice, and compression, but they're just one thing that you can do when there's this multifaceted effect that you can have on healing and keeping your body thriving. So again, all the show notes, all the information will be on our website over at additivefreelifestyle.com/episode 188. Go over there if you'd like to check it all out, and there'll be links to different things and all the recipes typed up for you. So I'd love for you to check it out and let us know what you think. If this episode has been helpful, or if any episode has been helpful that you have heard so far on our podcast show, please, 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 if we can beg you and ask a huge favor to leave us a written review. Written reviews are vital to us knowing if episodes have been great for you, but also to help us boost us in the algorithms of the podcast world. So if you can leave us a review, that would be really, really great, and we would appreciate that so very much. Thanks so much for listening. Take care. We will see you next week. And until then, bye for now.